What's going on, people? Welcome to the player ratings. Palace 2, Southampton 0, 3-3. We're going to be discussing all the individual performances from the game. As always, make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you do enjoy the content, and let us know your ratings in the comment section down below. AJ, for the third time you're here, 3 wins in a row. You still haven't had to go through the ratings when we've had a loss, so that's good for your sake, because it's not nice when you lose, but when you win, there's a lot to talk about. And let's start off with the goalkeeper, Sam Johnson. Once again, he had another start in this game after a very good performance against Leeds. And you gave him a 7.5. No, I gave him a 7.5. You gave him an 8. I thought he had a very good game once again. He made an important save in the second half. I think it's Bella Kotchap who made the shot. But he didn't look out of place again. And solid performance from him.
Very happy. Very, very solid performance from Johnson. This is the kind of the past 2 performances. I think he's been very, very solid. I think he's been commanded that defensive line very, very well. When he has had to come into action in games, he's stepped up and he's done some very, very exceptional saves. And like we've been saying for a while now, if you're on form, you stay in the team. And I think Sam Johnson is a great example of that. Obviously, I love Guaita, and I say this all the time, but the reality of the situation is, with the form that and confidence that Sam Johnson does have, why would you not keep him in the squad? Why would you not keep him in the team? Can't ask for anything more from him, man. Brilliant.
Yeah. And Roy did that, and it paid off once again. Clean sheet, made some saves, 4 saves, 2 saves from inside the box. Distribution, 63.9%. Majority of the passes. Well, he tried to do it. There was lots of long balls, 26 long balls attempted, 13 of them successful. So yeah, solid game. All right, distribution, could have done a bit better, but overall, very solid, and he done his job well as a goalkeeper. Let's move on to the right back, Joe Ward, and there's lots of praises in the match reaction about him. 7 from you and 7 from me. We both agree on that. Solid, especially the second half. He got excited running down the right-hand side and trying to run past Elise at times, and doing the overlapping duties that we expect from a modern right back. And I thought he done a really good job. And I think when you talk about confidence, he was confident in the second half, and I feel like he had a better second half than the first half.
Yeah, I think with Joe Ward, normally he is one of the go-tos for criticism, and I feel like he does often get exposed a lot in games, and he is normally one of the players, I would say, in the first 11 that I would look at in terms of upgrading and making a better choice and selection. And I'll be honest, going forward onto next season, yada, 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 we can discuss that at a later time. That is one of the key positions in the team that I do worry about and I do always think about and consider. However, today, I did like his performance. He, especially in the second half, he came forward, nearly got a couple of assists. And he came forward, tried to do a shot. I was like, this can't be the same Joe Ward that I watch week in, week out. But it's like he's been watching the shows, man. He's been watching the shows. He's been like, listen, I ain't gonna let AJ get at me again.
Lots of people.
Nah, you know what I mean? So I like what I saw out of Wardy today, man. I thought he was very, very impressive. I think even defensively he did his job. Got caught out a couple of times in the first half, but generally towards the second half, when the rest of the team sort of picked things up and sort of sets the pace, can't go wrong with that, especially when you're wearing the captain's armband, man. Your captain has to lead by example, and I think that he woke up in terms of his performance. He was very progressive going forward today as well, which I really liked out of him. I understand that his age and ability, he can't do that week in, week out. But for what it's worth, his performance today was definitely one of his better performances this season, 100%.
100%. Let's move on to the centre-backs now. 7. With Mark Gahey, I thought he had a solid game defensively. Of course, they kept the clean sheet, and that's why I had to give him a 7. In terms of what he had to do defensively, he only won 1 out of 3 ground duels and aerial duels. He didn't win the 1 aerial duel that he had. So, but the most important thing was his distribution. His passing was 84.6%. 3 clearances, 1 interception, a tackle. Only got dribbled past once. But yeah, he got subbed off with an injury. Hopefully, that's nothing too serious. Solid game.
Yeah, same. Very, very solid, usual kind of performance I'd see out of Gahey from a centre-back perspective. I think the reason why I kind of gave him the higher rating, because I'll be honest, in the first half, I did still once again sort of feel that he was getting kind of toppled on quite a bit. But the fact that he went down, he was blatantly injured, he blatantly got kicked around a few times, and he got up, kept going, kept powering through that, that's what kind of pushed it more to the 7 direction for me, to be fair. I think that's another one of our senior players in the team in terms of leadership. Obviously, with him having the captain's armband and his professionalism. But the thing that stood out for me with Gay today is the fact that he did stay on the pitch, even though he was obviously in a lot of pain, and he just kept going and going and going. Can't really ask much for that from a Palace perspective. And I feel like with Palace fans, they adhere to the players that will kind of give everything for the shirt. And if I'm looking at players in the squad that will do that, Mark Gay is one of the first names in the team sheet for me.
Yeah. Anderson, you gave him a 6, I gave him a 7. I disagree. I feel like they both had a solid game. I don't know. I don't think one had a better game than the other. But yeah, Anderson, solid game as well. Distribution 72.7%. In terms of clearances, 2 clearances, no interceptions, 1 tackle, and he got a dribble pass once as well. So not too similar. Well, it is similar to Gay. Another solid performance from him. Do you want to add anything about Anderson?
Nah, I just felt he just had a pretty average game. That was the only reason why I gave him a 6. It wasn't anything personal in terms of what he did or what he didn't do. It was just more along the lines of he didn't do anything that really stood out to me today. That was the only reason why he got a 6 out of me.
Yeah, he didn't score a goal.
He didn't bang a 40. He didn't bang a 40-yarder, mate. I'm not having.
Yeah. There's an average performance. Average. No, I'm joking. Yeah, 6 from you. Let's move on to left back. 6 once again for Tyreek. I give him a 7.5. I thought Tyreek had a decent game today. I thought he had one of his better games. Even in terms of stats, I think it shows it as well. Needing 90% passing accuracy, 2 tackles, 3 interceptions, 1 clearances. So when you look at the likes of Gahey and Anderson, he's done better defensively there as well. 4 out of 6 ground duels, 1 out of 1 aerial duels, 1. I thought Tyreek was very solid today.
For me, it was a game of 2 halves for him. I think in the first half, we looked like we were going to go down the same road of, oh my God, we're going to concede the first one and then we're going to wake up. And I feel that was kind of coming across more with Mitchell. I feel like he pulled himself back a lot in the second half for sure. But then if I'm balancing what I don't like versus what I do like, it kind of just comes around to he had a decent game, but nothing spectacular for me. I think that he still needs to get better coming forward. I just cannot beat down. I don't think we need to go and buy a new left back and take him out of the team or anything like that. What we do need, if anything, is just another left back option. Because I do feel that there are some games when he's just not the player that we know he can be. And I don't think he's at the level of the Tyreek Mitchell breaking into the England squad. And he hasn't been that way for a while. However, I do feel that in games, he's having a pretty decent display. I mean, in all fairness, he got beaten a couple times, but then when he did sort of come and do his tackles, he was all right. Average game for me.
Yeah, average game. Decore, let's move on to midfield. We're slightly getting to the exciting part of the show in midfield and attackers. Of course, there's one player in detail that we're going to talk about. 7.5, 7 from you. Another game, not a yellow card, discipline-wise. Brilliant. And I thought he held it down in midfield. He had a quietly very good game. In terms of passes, 78.6%, not bad there. Key passes, 1 key pass in the game as well. Aerial duels 1, he went for headers. I thought he controlled it in midfield in front of the defense.
Yeah, very solid. Kept the Southampton quite quiet in that centre midfield to an extent. There was a lot of players in the Southampton team attacking wise that were isolated, and I felt that was a case of Decore, just his presence being there. And yes, when he does win the ball back, just giving away those solid passes, I'd even debate that maybe he could have got the assist for Elise's second goal. That's neither here or there. But I feel like he's growing in confidence week in, week out, man. And he's always giving us a pretty solid game. Is there anything he can add to his game? Not really. Once again, not getting booked. That's it. Yeah, he's not getting caught out like that. Yeah. And that kind of just goes in terms of showmanship to the rest of him and the rest of the team. Perfectly fine.
Yeah, perfectly fine. Jeffrey Schlupp, I thought he had a good game, but it's like there's not much to talk about with Schlupp today. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but he just had a quietly good game. There's nothing that he done wrong, but there's nothing that he done like brilliantly as well. Maybe I'm wrong. Let me know in the comment section down below. But I thought he just had a very solid game, just doing like the basics right. At times, picking up the ball, dribbling with the ball as well. Passes wasn't that great, 68.4% in comparison to other players. But 4 out of 6 ground duels won. Maybe it was his defensive efforts that really stood out to me more than anything. Even when you don't look at the stats, yeah, he just had a solid game. Yeah,
progressive going forward. He's definitely looking a lot more solid on his feet, and that's what I'm loving about loving might be a strong word, but that's what I'm starting to like about Jeffrey Schlupp. I think if I'm looking at him in terms of the performances we've been getting in him week in, week out for the past, well, since the post Vieira era, he's looking less and less clumsy, and he's just looking more and more solid. And he's looking like he knows what he needs to do. He can press the ball very forward. He's using his strength as his advantage. And I think that's paying off for him. And then when he is progressively passing the ball and he is coming forward, he's looking a lot more dangerous and a lot more of a threat. All he needs now is a couple goals to go with it, and he'll start getting 8s and 9s out of me, man.
Yeah, but he's been consistent. That's the most important thing. He's been consistent with his level of performance. Like, I haven't seen a drop off in any of the last 3 games, and it's been, one of our more important players, especially in midfield. So hats off to him, because we've talked about him in midfield under Vieira, and he wasn't as consistent or as contributing as he is right now. So, 3 out of 3 games, decent, and all I asked for was consistency, and he's delivering that. Now, let's move on to another midfielder. Midfielder that's got 2 goals, that's on fire. Forget about just the goals. Eze, 9.5 from both of us, nearly a 10 out of 10. And that second half performance, what a half for him. Like, the second goal sums up, doesn't it? Like, the way he just took that shot and he just went in. But even if you forget about the second goal and just look at, he was on the ground, there's like 3 players surrounding him, he still gets the ball and run past them. Like, he's just sitting on the ground. He gets up. I don't know how he does it. Like, his dribbling was fantastic. In the second half, he got into the right areas as well. I think that's the key out of this. People talk about his goals, 100%. Scored some good goals. But it's the position, even the position for the first goal, being in the right position at the right place. And the second half, picking up the ball midfield, he was way more involved than he was in the first half. And that's why he caused them trouble. He was in the right space at the right time. And fantastic. Like, his confidence. When he's confident like this, you can't stop him. I'm sorry, you just can't. Just like Elise said as well, when he's confident. And we saw it against Leeds. Unstoppable.
Eberiche Dino Eze. What a performance, man. This guy right now. Listen, Gareth Southgate, where are you? Where are you paying attention? Because I'll tell you.
Listen, he may be watching Match of the Day or whatever he's watching.
Listen, bruv, I don't know. Like, because England need creative players in the midfield that do these kind of things. And there aren't many of them. I'm not saying there aren't any. I'm just saying there aren't a lot that do this specific type of... He's bringing the pens onto the Premier League. He was amazing. My brother, Eberiche, listen, my brother, you were doing bits today, bro.
You know what's crazy? He won 10 out of 17 ground duels. Defensively, he went.
Listen, they couldn't get the ball off him. Couldn't get the ball off him. He was out dribbling them. I think even poor, what's his name? Bella Concha nearly broke his neck, like trying to leap over top of him in the second after, which was just crazy. And every time he just got up, started again. Like, at one point, it was essentially a carbon copy of what we got against Leeds. It was like 3-4 players had gone and he was just turning, twisting, the ball stuck to the man's foot. This is London excellence at Premier League level. This guy, right, when he's got the confidence and he can be the guy, he is, just chez magnifique.
Delicious.
Excellent, bro.
Yeah.
Absolutely just
Alfredo.
crazy.
Chicken Alfredo. That's how I describe it. Chicken Alfredo. You like chicken Alfredo?
Nah, bro. Steak. That brother is steak, comfy potatoes.
He's well cooked.
Like,
well cooked.
Listen,
steak.
bro. This guy. This is the Eze we know. And please, Mr. Southgate, just let him cook. Watch him cook. That's the ingredients. Stop working with the plain chicken and rice in the England squad, bro. Bring some spice into there. This is a continental thing, bro.
I take it back. He's not a well-cooked steak. I don't know how you like your steak, but you can't have it well done.
Medium rare, bro.
Well done. Medium.
Nah, he's medium rare, bro. He's cooked to perfection.
He's found his spot. It's just perfection. You don't have to even cook it too much. You just have to find your level and then it's delicious. It's delicious. Like
listen,
that.
bro. This guy, right? He's just making me happy week in, week out.
He's making me hungry. Forget about funny. He's making me hungry.
Well, dinner time soon, innit? But the thing is, right? This is the thing. I've seen it on Twitter. A few players specifically mentioning him because I know he did the New Balance ads recently at the same time, conveniently. He could be a franchise player. He could be the face of the club and the team. His ceiling is as high as he wants it to be. When he was last time in his form, he was getting linked with moves all across the Premier League. This will happen again this summer, for sure. I almost can guarantee it. Whether he leaves or not, that's another conversation, which I don't think we're really going to have anytime soon. But I'm reckon if he can continue that mentality, Gareth Southgate can't ignore him anymore. Like,
Yeah.
he's back to
But
his
let's see.
best.
He needs to be consistent. Exactly. It's 3 games, 3 very good games, but he needs to be consistent, and we'll see against Everton what he does. We're running out of time, so we'll quickly go through these. Elise, I don't think he had a bad game. I know you wanted to talk about him, but I don't think he had a bad game. Maybe not Leeds-esque, but he was involved in the second half, getting the players to the right positions as well. In the final third, I thought he was decent. First half, all of our attackers pretty much was quiet. Maybe he lost the ball a bit too much in the first half, but overall, I thought he had a decent game. But of course, Eze is the main one to talk about.
Quite similar. I think it was a case of he was a threat. He just didn't quite chop it today like he usually does. And I know he can do. And I will stay with this narrative that he is the chosen one for me. That I'm sticking with that narrative for as long as I need to. Elise is my chosen one. He's the guy. He's the chosen one, mate. He's the special one. But it was just a case of today. I just didn't think he quite had that killer instinct that we particularly needed. And I don't know if that's a detriment to the squad or maybe just, players not being in the right positions. But it was still his threat. He still had a couple shots off. He still kept Southampton panic attacks. Whoever was playing at left back for Southampton probably is going to be thinking about man all night and wake up in the middle of the night screaming.
Yeah, exactly. Ayu, let's talk about Ayu. 8 from you, 8.5 from me. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Is it a case of him playing down the left-hand side? And that's what I'm asking to the viewers as well. Because down the left-hand side, I think it was T that made this point. He could cut in with his right foot. And he causes more trouble like that because we know his crosses ain't that great, but down the left-hand side, it just gives it versatility. I'm telling you, today his dribbling was, I don't know why it comes into my head, but like not Messi-esque in terms of that level, but it was crazy. His dribbling was it was something else. And he got for the first goal. Nice. I'm going to count it as his assist. He beat his player. I know the goalkeeper parried it out, but it was basically half of his assist. And I thought he had another solid game. And it happens on the left-hand side. And in the preview that we're going to talk about next week, that should be interesting. I mean, what happens with Wilf and him?
Quality game. He's another one that's now showed up and started giving stuff to worry about. He's getting assists. He's getting goals. Who is this guy? And what's he done with the actual Jordan Ayew? Because this is like Jordan Ayew that got player of the season for us a couple of years ago and goal of the season for us a couple of years ago. Hey, I'm all for it. The guy apparently signed a new deal. He's going to be around for a bit more time. He's got the experience. He's got the know-how. I'm just happy with what he's given us. Let's just continue on. And at the end of the day, if that means Wolf's got a whole bench, it is what it is.
Yeah. Edward, 6 from both of us. Not his greatest games. I don't think there's much about it. Yeah, not his greatest games. That's pretty much it with Edward. Let's move on to the bench. He's been coming off the bench and had solid performances. Once again, I thought he had a solid outgoing. It was good, even running with the ball from midfield, just attacking as well. He had that few moments as well going forward. So it wasn't a case of him just sitting back, which is positive to see. With Hughes. And for the rest of the players that came on as subs, I don't know if you want to talk about any of them, but we could just show the ratings. There wasn't anything in particular to talk about for me anyways. Do you want to talk about any of them? Luca?
Nah, they didn't really have enough time.
Yeah, they didn't have enough time. Lukonga came on. That was good to see Lukonga come on. He looked all right when he did come on, which was positive.
Yeah.
5 from you, 6 from me. Tompkins came on for like 5 minutes, basically, for Gahey, so not much to talk about there. Mateta came on just to run around. Nothing else, literally. Hardly had any time as well. That's it for our player ratings. If you have enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like and subscribe and let us know your ratings in the comment section down below. Do you agree or disagree with our ratings? That's it from me and AJ, and until next time, up the palace.